Hello friends, welcome back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. My name is Trina, and today's video is going to be a continuation of the flip through that I've been doing for a past couple of months here in the channel about my anime review journal. So if you haven't seen the first parts of this series, I have already flipped through the first one and the third one of my set of books. I will leave the link up in the iCards for you if you're interested. And the reason why I have flipped through the third one before the second one, so this video is actually me flipping through the second one of these series of notebooks, is because I've mentioned it in my flip through for the first one, is that I didn't want to flip through the notebook with empty reviews in it, because most of the anime that I have written in these notebooks are actually from my childhood, and some details I could not remember them to give a review of the anime series. So I left it blank, hoping to be able to rewatch them before giving a review. However, some of the series, if you know anime, some of the series from the early 1990s, that generation, you will notice that they have like more than 30 or 60 episodes each. So that's why it is like very not advisable to like wait to rewatch them before doing the video for these, because it will take some time, and I kind of actually want to put this out already, as I am actually working on, this is the notebook that I'm using. This was just given to my dad as a like freebie for the purchases in his company, and it is a very sturdy notebook, and I really enjoyed using it, and this is the last one that I have of these notebooks. They don't have anymore, and I've used some other of these notebooks for different purposes. In all honesty, I should have saved them if only I knew that I will be continuing these sorts of journals, but this is the last one that I have. So it's a series of 4 notebooks. So yeah, book 1 and 3 is already up in my channel, and book 4 is ongoing. So I will be talking about this one, which is book 2, anime review number 2, titles number 153 to 298. The cover is the cover of Charmy from Black Clover. It is her grimoire, the food magic grimoire, and like I really enjoyed this cover, and Charmy is my favorite one. Her character is the one that spoke to me the most with all of the Black Bulls, and I had a previous version of this. I don't know if I still have a photo of it, but if I do, I will like flash it on screen for you to see. But the first iteration of this cover is actually me having to like using a craft knife on a cardboard and crafted out all of these details. However, with time and storage, the thin vine-like design of the grimoire peeled off and got torn in the process, and so I just decided to just draw it in on a piece of copy paper and stuck it in here. So that is why it looks like this now. So let us begin with flip through. This notebook actually started out as like I actually what do you call that, found like bio journals, like the journals that the biology students I've seen. I did this like fresh out of college, and like it's like 2020 now, so it's not fresh out of college, but like I was still watching like university students like Instagram and YouTube videos, and they have this like bio journals. So I wanted to try it out, but only tried it out for like 3 pages. And this paper is actually amazing because it held watercolor. This is actually watercolor, and I really enjoyed making this, but it wasn't like, it was only like a spur of the moment project of mine, and I did not continue with it anymore. And so I proceeded with the anime journal here. So my indicators are the same, although I'm not sure if I have read like a light novel in this, maybe, or I don't even remember if I've watched a live action, because I don't really like watching live action at all. And so we have here, my first entry was Banana Fish, which I absolutely bawled after watching it. So if you ever plan on watching Banana Fish, do prepare tissues. And I think this is like my first, so this was November of 2020. I think this was the time when I decided to like have a month wherein I watch all of the saddest anime recommended off of the internet. And some here are like inserted like Studio Ghibli, the less like popular, I can't really say popular because some of them are actually quite popular, but the less watched Studio Ghibli movies I've also watched here. And these are the ones that I mentioned are the entries from my past self. I've watched this like 2010, 2005 sort of anime, so I like forgot some of what happened, so that's why the reviews are blank. But at least I can see that I have watched this anime and I could always look back on it. Ginban Kaleidoscope is actually one of those anime that I've also watched in childhood, but I successfully rewatched, and my rating was skewed a little bit because I used to rate this anime as like an 8, but as an adult I rated it as a 7 because it's more, of course, I'm not really into the drama, sports drama, so it's still okay. It's a child favorite and I like revisiting it anyway. So here we have The Promised Neverland manga, which is one of my favorite manga of all time. I don't think I've placed here ratings, but I know for a fact I've rated this as a 10 and also recommended it. And of course, if you haven't watched The Promised Neverland anime yet, if you really want to watch the animated version of it, just watch season 1. I advise that you do not watch season 2. And if you want to continue the story, I'd rather you read the manga instead of watching season 2 because you'll be fairly disappointed with what happens in the anime. I had to stop the video because construction outside is, I can't really, as you can hear from the outside, I do apologize. But I think this is the only time that I can film this week, so it can go up as scheduled. So I apologize and I hope you bear with me. Kisniver actually is one of those anime that is kind of weirding me out for a sci-fi romance. But then again, watching this again, it's like, what is really, is it really worth it watching this? I can't remember if I gave this like a 6 or a 7 in my anime list, but it's like every cliche trope in a romance is hodgepodged in this sci-fi romance anime. So it's a hit or miss. If you like it, you like it. If not, Black Heaven is one of the anime that actually is one of the first anime that I've watched with my brother, other than Slam Dunk. And we really enjoyed this. This is like the first of like my introduction to sci-fi related anime that has music incorporated in it, and my brother really likes the sci-fi mecha music trope of anime, so this was the first one that we enjoyed as siblings, and I like rewatched it recently with him as well. Sergeant Kuroro is like 358 episodes. I will find time to rewatch this, although I can't really say rewatch because I doubt that I finished watching, but I did happen to watch the final episode of this anime, so like it's very sporadic and I can't remember which episode that I've watched and not watched. Because I'm like watching most of my childhood anime actually in like Animax as a kid, and we don't have cable anymore, so I don't have access to that, but at least I have access to the internet, so that is my way of like revisiting all childhood anime like Romeo and Juliet, 07 Ghost, and it has a nostalgic factor to it. And also I would like to say that rewatching some of my childhood anime, I have a newfound appreciation for like some of the anime that feels kind of obscure to me. Like for example, XXX Holic, as well as 07 Ghosts. I kind of enjoyed it more as an adult than when I was like 8 or 9 years old. If you see like transferred here, I actually transferred all of my manga entries in a separate manga journal because most of the manga that I've been reading recently in these like couple of years are incomplete or ongoing. So that is why if ever I wanted to like pick out like the manga that I'm reading, at least I have it compiled in one notebook instead of it being like inserted in these different manga review journals. And so that is why these are still like ongoing. I just want to mention this, but I am really much of a fan of Psycho-Pass. Of course, I am very much a fan of psychological thrillers and crime-related genres. And so if you're interested in that as well and haven't watched Psycho-Pass yet, I recommend Psycho-Pass 1 through 3 as well as the movies. They're very much great. I really adore this series. And I heard that there is a live action. I did mention in the video earlier that I don't watch live action, but if this, I can't remember, I don't really keep up with live action news, but if this actually has a live action, I may consider watching. To think I placed here that I finished watching Attack on Titan Season 1 December of 2020, but in actuality, I have watched Season 1 in 2014 and Season 2 and 3 in early 2018. So I've basically been keeping up with Attack on Titan, but after a few years, you tend to forget details, and I've already read the manga for this like in its entirety. And so it's like a binge reading and binge watching marathon of Attack on Titan for me. And I have actually read the manga 3 times. Like near the Marlian area. The first read through I have of Attack on Titan, I did not understand the time skip portion, but reading it 3 times really helped actually. And I don't want to read it again, to be honest. I had enough of like Attack on Titan for the past year, and knowing that the final season part 2 is out. It was out like a few days ago, and I'm considering watching the first episode because it is an hour long, but the other side of me is saying that I should like wait for it to like finish before I watch the whole thing. Next here we have what is this season? I now forgot. Oh, so this is the new Higurashi. If you haven't seen like my previous videos wherein I mentioned Higurashi, I like the first like older generation of Higurashi. Also the first season of the remake. However, the second season of the 2020 version of Higurashi is so bad. I really was disappointed with the ending actually. I have yet to continue watching Log Horizon. But I think if ever, like, for example, I know that I have an entry already in these notebooks, and I've taken my time to watch, like, for example, season 2 here. I won't be logging that entry in my new journal, but rather I will be logging it here since I already have the page for it, so my counting won't really get obscure and inaccurate. It took me a while to think of the term for it. Next here for my recommended is actually Blend S. This is like the only slice of life comedy that I actually enjoyed, and I gave it a high rating in my anime list. And to be honest, I kind of want to rewatch this, and also I really enjoyed the opening, the Bon Appetit OST. I still listen to that OST every now and then, and it's very much fun. Mermaid Forest. This is a not right. This is a do not recommend. Yeah, Mermaid Forest. If you're into like horror drama that involves like flesh eating, then maybe. But I'm kind of annoyed by the ending. Like it wasn't worth it anymore. So the story of Mermaid Forest actually is like one of the main character ate a flesh of the mermaid without knowing it, and this granted him eternal life. So he wanted to like find another mermaid to help him turn into a human again, or like wants to know how he would become normal again because he can't die and he just regenerate and such. So when he actually found this group of mermaids that are disguised as humans, they were like taking care of a kid, of a girl, and they used that girl as their way to stay young. That is how logic of mermaids work in this world. And he rescued her, killed off the mermaids that are about to die, and they are trying to seek out more flesh-eating mermaids to find out how they can become human again. So it's very the ending was so lackluster for me, so that is why I don't really recommend it to anyone. So at this point, while flipping through these pages, I'm actually seeing that I have watched a lot of horror survival, gore, what do you call it, supernatural, psychological drama, and I have realized that my roster for psychological horror anime to watch has dwindled over the past few years. I only have like about 5 to 10, maybe less than 10 titles that are left in my to watch list that are of that genre. And as long as there is an ecchi tag on any of them, I instantly drop. That's why my list is becoming quite sparse. And I actually did read a light novel. This is The Bungo Stray Dogs. This is actually animated in, I think, season 2. The first few, or was it season 3? I forgot. But it was the first few episodes when Daza and Shuya were still younger. So that was the light novel version. I just wanted to read. Strangers by the Seaside is also, it is Shonen Ai, and it's a very beautiful movie. I really adore this BL movie, and it is one of the few romances that I actually like. Charlotte. Charlotte is the same creators from which anime again? Was it Angel Beats, I think? But then again, I didn't really like Charlotte that much. yeah, you could pause and you could read the synopsis if you want. But this is one of the things that I don't like school drama. I should put here as well. I understand if people really like Darling of the France, mecha romance sci-fi, but I am not sorry in saying that I don't recommend it because I don't enjoy the way the characters are. Like, of course, they are kids, they are like children, and children and romance I don't really find that enjoyable. And unpopular opinion 02, I don't really enjoy her as a character. She is pretty, but she is not the character that I find I enjoy watching. I get quite annoyed and cringe a lot. But again, I will say that they are children in this anime. So if you're into like this sort of romance, then that's fine. But I don't think that. Again, this is like unpopular opinion, but I don't really enjoy it. Let's end it at that. Promise Neverland Season 2. I also did not put a sticker here. I'm glad that I pulled this out. So this is like my sticker indicator sheet. I just put in all of the stickers that I normally use in this one sheet. So recommended, not recommended, OVA, light novels, and movies. And so I'll just keep it out here. But as I said earlier, Promise Neverland Season 2, do not waste time. Because this season did not, or like they cut off majority of the best scenes that are found in the manga. And it felt more rushed than it is. And it's sort of like they're fusing the whole, like, more than half of the manga in just 11 episodes, let's say that. And it wasn't worth it. So I suggest, as I have said earlier, season 1 and then straight to the manga. I would also like to comment about Wonder Egg Priority because I really love the first 12 episodes. Sorry, I double checked it with my anime list, and Wonder Egg Priority plus finale is fine. What you shouldn't actually be watching is the Wonder Egg Priority My Priority special, which is after like the story after. I cannot really recall exactly. That is why I don't really like it, because I can't recall what happened actually. But I distinctly remember that I hated it, and I read through the reviews quickly, just skimmed through the reviews in my anime list, and they gave it like a 2, a 3, a 5. So most of the people agreed with me that it was like a bad ending, because I vaguely remember that this series, you had to like watch that 46-minute special so that it will tie all the loose ends, supposedly, but it did not. So yeah, watch this one, don't watch the specials. I also actually placed, I recommend Skate the Infinity here. A lot of like sports and low-key BL sort of anime I really enjoyed. And I think I have like a hyperfixation on Skate the Infinity during that time. And it is actually a very beautiful sort of anime. I have not finished Thornbrainer actually. This is the origin of Chuya. And I haven't finished reading it. I can't actually find like the continuation of the one that I'm reading, because they only released like, when it comes to light novels, they actually release like copies of it through WordPress, and sometimes you can't get access to them. So that way I can't really finish reading this one because it was new at the time. So I don't know if they already released this somewhere. I'll have to look for it. Konosuba. Konosuba is also one of my favorite like comedy isekai. It's very enjoyable, and I have a lot of friends that I've connected with because of Konosuba, which is actually fun. Should I be mentioning Redo of Healer? Because I actually remember saying that as long as there's ecchi tag, I won't watch it. But this anime is disgustingly good, actually. I don't know why, but I believe that they say that if you read the manga, it will be more graphic in its sexual contents. However, they, of course, for the safety of like TV and such, they cut out most of the sexual scenes from the animation, but still there's like hints that happened. But the revenge plot and the way that Kearu, what do you call that, planned out his revenge plot over all of these people who have wronged him for or like bullying him because he was weak and he wasn't rich and he was not of noble birth, even though he is one of the supposed heroes. So he was being discriminated, being bullied. So this whole plot line is his revenge plot, and I'm actually very much interested in what happens next. Sword Art Online. To be fair, I'm actually like invested in the Sword Art Online world as well. However, there is one part that I don't really like. I think I remember that video wherein there is one vlogger, social media personality influencer asking around like cosplayers which anime, this was back in 2012 or 2013. He was going around asking cosplayers what is the most overrated anime, and all of their answers, the majority of their answers was Sword Art Online. And I sort of understand it, but I also enjoyed, like, I don't really care for like the early days, like the first, second, ordinal scale was fine. And like this, and the only like Sword Art Online that I enjoy actually was the Alicization. This is my favorite of all the Sword Art Online. Well, yeah, this is my favorite. The second one is actually Gun Gale. I enjoy Gun Gale more than the main series, and yeah, that is why I'm very much obsessed with Yu-Gi-Oh, which is the best friend of Kirito in the Alicization series, or arc, I should say. So yeah, I have here From the New World, which, to be fair, I watched this in 2021. I did not actually particularly like it because it's very obscure. It's not necessarily avant-garde, but it's like very much an acquired taste in terms of dark fantasy. And looking at it now in the perspective of like 2 years after, I think this is an okay anime to watch if you're into like the dystopian sort of genre. It's only like very much weird because of the behavior of children, but also it is dark fantasy and magic and sort of supernatural and kind of like lore based, so it's kind of okay. And right now I think my rating and my impression of it has changed over time. And next we have here more Konosuba. I really enjoyed this. I just printed out like a screenshot of the introductory. Was this the intro sequence, I think? So I think there is going to be another like Konosuba movie coming out soon, so I am surely going to watch that as well. Next here, Josie the Tiger and the Fish. I don't know why I didn't put recommended here because this is actually my favorite romance movie. I don't know if this is for everyone, but it is like finding comfort with each other and also sharing pain and sharing experiences and waiting for right time. I think that is how I think about when I remember this movie. The animation is very beautiful. The studio Bones in general, having like Bungo Stray Dogs and same titles, I really love their animation style, and this is one of my favorite movies from them as well. So next we have here Record of Ragnarok. Record of Ragnarok is actually like humanity versus gods sort of duel situation wherein whoever wins decides which side wins decides the fate of the world, whether the world or humanity will get destroyed or not. And I actually read this manga as suggested by my best friend, and a few years, or rather a few months later, it got its like Netflix original series, and there are many people actually who did not like it. I actually enjoyed Record of Ragnarok as in general. So they hated the anime style or the animation style, wherein they say it looks like a slideshow, but actually it's very much like what do you call that? The Way of the House Husband. It's similar vibes, and people enjoyed that, right? And in the case of when the synopsis is like very long, I just added like my review here and added a sticky note, wash it in like a note, I mean, for the continuation, if ever that happens. Here is the second part of that Higurashi remastered version. I gave it a 6 though, so fair. I think the only reason why I did not like it was because of the ending. It was going so well and it ended so badly. Shadow's House is also a recommendation actually. Let me just use up my stickers since I have it here. So Shadow's House is supernatural, wherein these shadow beings are like hiring or getting like kids or like people that have the same features as them or like the same body type and such. Because they're shadow people, they're like dark like silhouettes. But I haven't watched the second season. I have to get to that. But this is one of those anime that it's worth watching. It's full of friendship, full of like growing up and discovering what's right and what's wrong sort of situation. Assassination Classroom. 86. Yes, this is like the one of the mecha anime that I really enjoyed watching. If you're into like military action as well as a bit of drama, then this one is a great one for you to consider. Was this the first entry that I have of Gintama? I believe it should be. I think it is. My first watch through of the first season of Gintama, which I very much enjoyed. If you have time, it is very much worth it to watch, even just a little bit, because each episode or each arc spans only like a few episodes, so you can stop anytime, and it won't really matter because the next episode will be starting a new arc, a new comedy series. So it's like good for if you need a palate cleanser from the different genres that you watch and you just needed like a good laugh. So Gintama is very much a recommendation. Gleipnir, however, is not. Where is my... I don't recommend. I think Gleipnir is the reason why I started to like ban the ecchi tag in my to watch list when it comes to supernatural horror. Because in a way, Gleipnir is horror. I don't know why I didn't add it there. But it's very much like, so much of it is like, what is the term? I keep forgetting terms recently. It's like a metaphor, or like it has double meaning, because it's like his power, the main character's power is that he becomes a suit of some sort, like a costume, and whoever enters the suit gains control of him and also gains like powers, because he cannot control his own powers. He needs like somebody to enter the suit in order to use his powers and like his flexibility and such. And every time like a girl enters the suit, it's like very like gross and icky, and so it's very awkward and very sexual in ways. So I don't recommend it. It's not really worth it for me, and I rated it very low as well. I don't know why I said that I was looking forward to the end, because if you remove all of the sexual stuff, it's actually a decent like mystery and how they gain those superpowers and such. But still, after watching the whole series, rather, I don't recommend it. Life Lessons with Uramichi Oni-chan. I watched this because I saw clips of how funny it is, and I really loved it. So if you want like very dark humor when it comes to like adulting and stuff, this is the anime for you. And it also has a very much of a rewatch worthy. And of course, Miyano Mamoru is one of the voice actors for the cast, so it's quality. Gintama, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I have like a binge watch of the first few series of JoJo, and mind you, I did not know that this was a vampire series beforehand, and then it ended up being like action-packed, full of adventure, full of supernatural stuff. So it's a hodgepodge, but it's meme-worthy, and it's very much enjoyable to watch. So I like JoJo a lot. These are like from, if you follow Muse Asia, you can find these series, and I've also found these series there. Danganronpa. It is a weird feeling to have both the future arc and the despair arc. You have to watch these two series together. Like, you watch this episode 1 of this, then episode 1 of this, episode 2 of this, and 2 of this. But in the end, it actually made sense. So like, it's a good ending to like the whole Danganronpa series. So of course, you watch season 1, season 2 is a game, and then season 3 is this one. It's these two series. And oh, also this one. This is like the ending. I'm sorry, I knocked the camera. This is like the whole ending. I think this is the end. Yeah. So these are all of the anime that I have included in this journal. Wait. So these are all the titles I've included here. My stats for this journal is that I have watched 2,503 episodes, minus the ones that I haven't rewatched, 13 movies, and 13 manga. So I don't know if I have included the 300 plus Sergeant Kuroro episodes in here, but that is it for this journal. So before my voice goes away, thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. I do hope you enjoyed this flip through and also the lackluster commentary I have of some of the series. And if you have any other like suggestions for or recommendations for me to watch, you can always leave it down in my comments, and we can talk about your favorite anime that you put there if you like. And I also hope that you look forward to me completing book 4 of this series of notebooks. As you can see, this is like 607 already. I have already watched more than 500 titles of anime in my lifetime, and I'm halfway through this notebook. And so that is it. Thank you so much again, and I will see you in my next video. So until then, guys, bye-bye.